All right. What is up, Utah fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest. And tonight we have got a fun one. I've got some awesome guests on. They're going to be players that have recently committed to Utah. So if you're excited about it, smash that like button. Also, comment down below. How exciting has this past couple weeks of recruiting been for you? Who are you most excited about to see hit the field? Just kind of what's going on in your mind with recruiting. And also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We put out a ton of Utah Youth football content. So if that's what you're looking for, we don't talk about softball. We don't talk about, other random sports some of the other channels talk about. We just talk about football. So whether it's fall, spring, summer, whenever, we are talking about football. So if you're into that, make sure you stick around to the channel because that's what we talk about. And on that note, I know the presidential debates are going on right now. So if you are with us tonight, that's very cool of you. I know, there's a lot going on. So I really think that's awesome of you guys to be here. I'm going to throw up an interview from this week with Christian Thatcher, 4-star linebacker out of Arborview High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm going to put that on right now. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, guys, we have Christian Thatcher with us. Christian, thank you so much for coming on. How are you doing today, man?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Christian was telling me before we went live, they were letting him play a little quarterback at practice this week, crossover practice. So very fun, man. Tell the people how you did at quarterback.
We're doing 7-on-7 stuff. I was about 3 for 12 today, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So, it's a little bit harder than people think, but getting the hang of it. We're having fun out there. It's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, good job repping, at least with the 2 touchdowns. So cool, man. Why don't you introduce yourself a little, kind of tell people your background, who you are, and just tell them about yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is Christian Thatcher. I play linebacker. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I go to Arborview High School. I've been playing football pretty much my whole life. Always been on the dark side, the defensive side. So always had that dog mentality. So I love Utah. Love everything about football. So just excited to see what the future holds.
Cool, man. That's awesome. And why don't we go ahead and dive right in? So obviously, Christian recently committed to Utah. He's a 4-star prospect for 24/7, and I think multiple other sites as well. The tape is awesome, Christian. I think everyone watching must be impressed by what you put on tape. Seriously, obviously, you're extremely athletic. You hit hard, and like you said, you got that dog mentality. You're looking to hurt people, which on defense is always a fun time. Maybe not injure them, but make them not want to come back on the field.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And tell us, so kind of like your recruitment process with Utah, who was the main person recruiting you from Utah, and who did you have the best connection with?
So the main person recruiting me was Chase Murdoch. He's one of the linebacker assistants. I actually went up to a Utah camp my freshman year, and then that's when Coach Murdoch kind of latched on to me. He's kind of the first guy that knows me from there. So after that point, they offered me my sophomore year, and then that's really when I started building my relationship with Coach Swan and all of them. I mean, they're so tight. When they come down for usually teams have area recruiters. Uh-huh. So usually it would just be one coach, but when Utah comes down, they bring the whole defensive staff and Coach Witt. So, I get to build a relationship with all of them, and it's really been like a family to me. So that's awesome. It's pretty much all of them. So it's really nice.
That's awesome, man. And so you met Morgan Scally a few times too, then?
Yep, Coach Scally. He's a character, man. We love him.
I'm sure. So obviously you gave us a little bit of insight there, but Christian, when did Utah first come on the radar for you and you felt like it was a serious option for you in your future football career?
Really when they first offered me, Utah has always been a really great program, and they're so consistent in their coaching and everything like that with Coach Witt's record and everything. So really just from me going out there to their camp already showed the interest that I wanted from Utah. So, just from the second they offered me and the second I had a chance to go to Utah, they were always on the radar for me.
That's awesome, man. And can you tell us about the visit? I think this would be fun if you could give us some insight. You know, most of us weren't star football players in high school to the point where we got to do visits. Why don't you walk us through it, Christian? What is that experience like? And honestly, I think just from a bystander perspective, obviously I follow Utah recruiting a lot, but it seems like Utah's visit to commit ratio, however you want to look at that, feels higher than other schools. It really
Yeah,
does.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be 30%. Tell us about the visit and what makes it so special.
You know, the official visits are awesome. You know, they get to cover everything, so that's really nice. First of all, so you know they start off by sending a personal vehicle to your house, pick you up, pick you and the family up. You know, nice car, everything. They drive you down to the airport, get you nice flights. You know,
Very cool.
nothing too early, nothing too late. You
Nice.
know, it's nice. And then after, I mean, it's pretty much just like presidential treatment after that. You know, they
That's
roll
awesome.
out the red carpet and everything. They got they sent us these big long agendas. We got everything going on throughout the days. You know, we got photo shoots, we got all the meetings and stuff like that. That's really what I love. Getting to sit down with Coach Swan and going through the meetings. That's probably my favorite part. So, you
That's
know,
awesome.
it's really just presidential treatment, though. I mean, they really do a good job at Utah.
It
Clearly.
sounds like what I'm picking up from you is very nice, but also very formal. Like it's laid out, it's structured. It feels like they put some serious thought into it. Is that kind of what
Yeah,
you're getting
yeah,
at?
definitely. Yeah, they got it all organized. They got it going really nice.
That's awesome, man. And so tell us about it. Obviously, the visit probably influenced you a lot, but when was the moment you decided that Utah, like maybe you knew before you actually committed? I mean, be as detailed as you want, but when was the moment you decided that Utah was the school you were going to commit to? Tell us a little about why you finally decided to pick Utah and what that moment was like.
Really just the whole official visit, just the whole experience was just really good for me and my family. And we were waiting for that moment just to click like that. Cause people say when you know, you know, and, during that whole visit, we were hoping to get that feeling. So, and we really did. So, after the visit, we waited a few days just to let our emotions cool down, make sure we're thinking right, just not live in the moment like that. So we, decided pretty much after the visit, we knew. So that's why we pulled the trigger so fast.
That's awesome. Well, I like that. It's a smart mentality, right? Wait till you get home, take a second,
Yeah.
breathe. That's good.
Yeah,
But
gotta
I
step
mean,
away. Yeah,
sounds like
gotta
you
step
made.
away from that all because they make it really nice.
I'm sure. And I always feel like if it's too like if someone commits right when they're on campus, it might be just the heat of the moment. So I like that you kept the level head and you made sure it was the right decision. That's
Yeah,
great,
for
man.
sure. Yeah.
And so let's talk about on the field. So obviously, like you said, you play linebacker. Has Utah given you any info on where they see you playing? Is the plan for you to play inside linebacker at the next level? Are they going to move you around a little? Tell us a little about that, Christian.
Yeah, so they see me playing as their Mike or Will. They want me inside the
Sure.
box. Coach wants that I could play either or. Um, you know, we haven't really gone too much more in depth, but you can see me playing Mike or Will and just inside the box. You know, I could pretty much do whatever they want me to do. So
Cool. That's awesome, man. And with that, is there, final question, is there anyone in the NFL that you or in college that you model your game after or you look up to and try to strive to be like them or take some stuff from them?
you know, he's not a linebacker, but I really like watching Max Crosby. I, I like, you know, he's a Raider. I don't really like the Raiders all that much, but you know, I'll support the hometown team. But I just love his mentality and his motor behind
He's
everything.
a
And that,
dog for
yeah,
sure.
that's just the type of player I want to be for sure. You know, just I mean, his passion. Like I love rushing off the edge. People don't really get to see that too much in my game. Hopefully this season I get a little bit more blitzes off the edge, but you know, I'm pretty good off the edge. So, you know, I like to model my game after him a little bit. So
Well, and just so you know, as a guy that watches a ton of Utah football and then spent a lot of time watching your tape, Utah's not afraid to send their linebackers. It's a 4-3 defense, but when they want to, like, they're not afraid to do it. I am not going to be shocked at all if they want to send you on some pass rushes. So that would not be surprising at all, man. Well, it has been so awesome having you on tonight, Christian. I appreciate you taking the time to let people get to know you a little bit. I'm sure they're as excited as I am. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Go Utes. Go Utes.
Go Utes, baby. Thanks so much, Christian.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys. Very cool. Awesome of Christian Thatcher to come on and do an interview with us. Super cool, man. Thank you again, Christian, for your time. We've got another player sitting behind the scenes right now, ready to come on and talk Utah football. It's JJ Buchanan. And this is a special one for me. I said it last week. So this is a super cool one, guys. This kid is actually from the same high school as me. The odds of that happening, considering I'm not even from Utah, are so rare. So I'm super excited to have him on, guys. If you appreciate the interviews, if you're having a good time, please make sure you guys smash that like button. It'll help get it out to more Utah fans. Also, comment down below, any questions you guys have. If I feel they're appropriate, I'll throw them out there. But on that note, I'm going to bring JJ Buchanan on right now. JJ, what is up, man? How are you doing tonight?
What's up, man? I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. It is cool it makes me feel old. I graduated high school a long time ago, but it is cool to talk to someone that, the odds are so low. So good to have you, man.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Cool, man. Can you tell the people just a little bit about yourself, your background in football, how long you've been playing, just tell them about yourself.
So my name is JJ Buchanan. Born and raised in Las Vegas. I played football at Coronado High School. Been kind of in football my whole life. Football and basketball were my two sports I've stuck with my entire life. Football's always had that edge. And yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. And if you don't mind, I know I didn't prep you for this one, but why I saw some of your basketball highlights from a camp you recently went to. You look pretty dang good. No joke. You look pretty good. Why football over basketball? What is it about it?
That's a good question. I think a lot of my coaches have always said it. It's just fun to be able to hit people without getting in trouble. That's the easiest way to put it. And I think that just the amount of anger you get to take out on the field is kind of something that you don't get anywhere else. And I think that's one of the main reasons I like it. And catching touchdowns, there's no other feeling like it.
You gotta love it. Yeah, and I'm with you. I always say, I remember when I first started playing football, it was like someone named Jacob Osborne says, "What's up, JJ? Go Utes." I don't know if you know
What's
him.
Up, Jacob?
Yeah, I remember, you play football and you learn to hit people. And I feel like there's that moment when you learn to like really hit people. You might know what I'm talking about. Like that first time where you're like, oh, this is a little different. Like this was like, this is what like the big dogs do. And I remember it's a good feeling. You're like, I'm going to try to go get that feeling again. So let's go ahead and dive into the recruitment process, JJ. Who was the main person from Utah recruiting you? Who did you feel like you had the best connection with?
So I'd say, honestly, I had a great connection with a lot of the staff. Like Christian said, when they come down to visit you, they bring the whole crew. So, it was really cool. It was a really cool experience to have everyone there, from Coach Scally to Coach Swan to Coach Fred, Coach Shaw, all those guys, they all came down to see me. But probably the main person I talked to was Coach Scally. But along with Coach Fred, I know they were both really, really recruiting me. But yeah, I'd say Coach Scally's, he's the one who offered me. It's actually funny because Coach Harding, he's the Vegas area recruiter. Yeah. So he had texted my coach and he said, we'd like to offer JJ Buchanan. So I was waiting on that call. It was like a week later. Coach Scally hit me up later and he called me. So that was one of the best moments of my life for sure.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that. So the coach gets the text first and the coach knows you're going to. Okay, cool. That's fun to know.
Yeah.
And then, so tell us a little about it. Obviously, sounds like you just said you were waiting a while for Utah to come offer you. When did Utah first come on the radar for you? It's not too far. It's probably the best P5, P4, whatever you want to call it, school within a certain radius. When 100%. Did it come on the radar for you and become a serious option for you?
Yeah, so the first coach to actually hit me up is Coach Goldsmith. He's a player personnel guy. So ever since he hit me up, I remember telling pretty much everyone I know, Utah, guy from Utah hit me up. We've been texting. So, I mean, ever since he texted me, that's been one of the schools that I really wanted to get an offer from. But, I think ever since they offered me, it was one of my top choices. They're the first Power Four to offer me, and just their track record of just the history of that school football. I mean, you think of football, you think of college football, Utah is up there with one of the best programs in the country. So I think ever since I got the offer, it was one of my top choices for sure.
That's awesome, man. And can you tell us about the visit? I mentioned it when I was talking to Christian, right? For
hmm
for Utah fans, it really feels like when official visit weeks roll around, it is such an exciting time because you have
hmm
very high hopes that we are going to get some big commits like yourself.
hmm
Walk us through that visit process, as much detail as you're able to give. Just kind of tell us what that experience is like.
Yeah, so for my family specifically, I wanted to bring my mom, dad, my little brother, and my sister.
Is
So
that the guy in
they
the
can't.
picture? Is that the little guy in your picture there?
Yeah, yeah, my little
Okay.
brother. Yeah, so I wanted to bring the whole crew. So we actually drove down there.
Okay.
Um, but so I didn't get that drive to the airport experience. But so we get there, they gave us a godly amount of food. I mean, they gave us 2, 3 bags of Chick-fil-A. So we got there at around 7 p.m. the night before the visit started. So we ate. We actually walked the streets a little bit just to see what the city had to offer a little bit, just as a family. So woke up next morning. We had it's meetings a lot. There's a lot of informative meetings, a lot of
Yeah.
coaches meetings, and for me, I actually met with the receivers coach, the linebackers coach, the safeties coach, and the tight ends coach, which usually
Wow.
only meet with one of the coaches. So I had a little more meetings than probably usual. But yeah, it's just filled with a lot of meetings, everything you need to know about the program, from the weight room to the nutrition to the extra activities they have in the city. And I mean, you get everything that city has to offer, and you like Christian said too, they roll out the red carpet for you. So you get treated pretty special up there. But it was a great experience, and everyone was super cool. So
That's sick, man. Anything just to follow up on that? I know you said they talked about nutrition, weight room
hmm
plan,
yeah.
what anything specific that stood out to you that really caught your eye that got you excited?
Oh yeah. They showed us a lot of before and after pictures of the players' development in their
That's
body.
cool.
So the way that I know they could change my body they could do some pretty crazy things. So that definitely caught my eye.
That's awesome. Any specific before and after that stood out to you?
Yeah, Jalen Johnson, the corner at the Bears now.
Yeah,
He went through a pretty crazy transformation.
that's awesome, man. Cool. So,
hmm
moving on, when was the moment that Utah was the school you're going to commit to? I know you shined some light on it when you got the
hmm
offer, but was it
Yeah,
on the visit? Yeah, tell us why you decided to pick Utah and when that happened.
yeah, for sure. So, it was the last day of the visit. My family was talking about it in between the meetings. We're like, should we do it? Like, it seems like the place for me. But they have a meeting. It's called Connect You. They basically explain, their commitment to you, life after football, all the connections they're able to develop. And it was during that meeting they were going over.
That's awesome. Leadership's super important, developing you as a leader and making sure you have good leadership while you're there. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And so tell us about on the field. I think you're a player that a lot of people, at least from what I'm hearing, feel like you're underrated in being a 3-star. They think your film's pretty impressive.
hmm
I'm going to throw it up on the screen here if I can. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
All good.
I don't know what happened to it. Huh. Anyways, maybe I'm not throwing it up on the screen. Let's see here. All right, boom. All right, I think I got it now. Let's throw it up. Bam. Here we go. End of season. Boom.
hmm
All right, cool. So we'll throw it up on the screen there. Let me see if I
hmm
can full screen it for us. All right, that's a little better. Okay, cool.
hmm
Might be a little laggy because we're doing a live stream while we're watching it. But so tell us, has Utah given any info on where they see you playing at the college level? Any
hmm
specific spot? They're going to try you out at multiple spots. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I met with all four position coaches, and they all see me in their room. So, I think they
That's
kind of
crazy.
gave
All
me,
four
yeah,
position coaches see you playing.
yeah,
Wow. That's
yeah, yeah.
awesome.
So, I think it's kind of, first of all, I think it's a little bit of preference. They told me that I could try where I want to play, but at the same time, that program has a knack for switching positions, getting people to the NFL, and at the end of the day, I want to make it to the NFL. So wherever that them as a coaching staff they see me playing, I'd be open to it. But I think for right now, I'm probably going to start on the offensive side of the ball, whether that's receiver or tight end. I'm not too sure of. But I think to start off, I'll start there, and as my career progresses, we'll see what I develop into, and if there's somewhere else that they see me succeeding more at and getting farther at, then I'll try that position out for sure.
That's awesome, man. I think
Hmm.
that's kind of news to a lot of us. I think a lot of people were expecting you to come in as a safety. So I think that's pretty
Yeah.
exciting, man.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
That's
the plan
cool.
right
Well,
now. But
hey, that's cool, man. Well, good for
yeah.
you. And then
Hmm.
with that, diving a little more into the detail here, is there anyone, and you could give me different players at different positions or whatever, but anyone in the
Hmm.
NFL or college that you model your game after?
Oh yeah, for sure. So on the defensive side of the ball, I'd say Kyle Hamilton, his ability to, play the post player, come down in the box, fill the run, cover receivers, cover tight ends. I think his ability to just kind of do it all, his versatility on the defensive side of the ball, I think that's something that I see myself that I can grow into as a defensive player if that is what my calling is. So I'd say on the defensive side of the ball, Kyle Hamilton for sure. And on the offensive side of the ball, I would say Mike Evans. He's not the most electrifying receiver, but he's gonna give you 1,000 yards. He's gonna catch the balls that are thrown to him. He's gonna go high point a ball on a jump ball, and
Yeah.
I think his reliability is something that I strive for. I don't want to have drops. He doesn't have drops. I want to be a
Yeah.
reliable receiver. You can count on 1,000 yards per season for. So I think that's someone that I look up to, and I could see myself playing like him for sure.
That is awesome, man, JJ. And
Hmm.
thank you, seriously, again. Thank you so much for coming on
Hmm.
tonight. Good luck in your
Yep.
senior year, and
Yep.
hopefully you could make a good playoff run with Coronado this year. Good luck,
Yeah,
man.
for sure. Yep.
I'll
Thank
see
you.
you.
Thank you for having me
Go
on.
Utes.
Yep.
All right, guys, and that was JJ Buchanan. That was kind of fun to hear that from him. That it sounds like his ideal position coming in would be wide receiver, and I at least I wasn't aware of that. That he had been kind of recruited at multiple positions for Utah. Maybe that's just me being ignorant, but I was a little out of the loop on that one. But that's really cool, and I think that I feel like that as you hear him talk about it, that just seems kind of like a big advantage that Utah has, right? Where we have a proven track record of taking players and moving them to different positions or developing them at different positions and seeing a ton of success from that. So I think that's super awesome, guys. If you guys are enjoying the show, we brought on a ton of guests so far. It's not over. We've got another guest coming on tonight, which should be a ton of fun. So make sure you guys smash the like button. That'll help get it out to more Utah fans. Also, comment down below if you guys are having fun. And what have you guys thought about the interview so far? We had Christian Thatcher and JJ Buchanan on. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we do put out a ton of Utah Utes football content. And I know what it's like, guys. The reason I initially made this channel is because in the off season for football, it is tough to get good Utah Utes football content. Even in the actual season, it's tough to get Utah Utes football content. That's why I actually wound up making the channel. Gap in the marketplace, as they say. All right. And one thing that's happening is Justin says, I love listening to the future. Yeah, for sure, man. It's exciting to talk to these guys. I feel super privileged that I get to bring them on and, ask them questions and talk to them a little bit and give them a voice. I think it's a really cool platform. I actually had someone, I'm not going to throw out their name, but someone pretty important in the Utah football program, I would say. I mean, it's not like the head coach, but it's a pretty dang important person. I won't throw out his name, but he was saying that a lot of the kids that they recruit actually do watch the stuff that we put out on the channel, and it helps make them feel important to the fan base. That some players bring up the channel when they do commit. So I think that's pretty freaking awesome. J Spider Flash says more and more guys will play both sides for sure. Maybe that'll be a trend in football in general, not just Utah football. I mean, it does seem like things might be trending that way. We had a bunch of cool recruits commit recently for Utah. Just to go through a couple of them, we've already talked about J.J. Buchanan. Christian Thatcher was on here. Malili Asiata, interior offensive lineman. This kid's 6'5", 320 pounds, I believe. I'll double check that before you guys take that as gospel. But he's a monster of a human being. He's going to play interior offensive line for Utah and should be a pretty big playmaker for us. We also got Jason Stokes Jr. Jason Stokes Jr. is another one of those guys, kind of like I mentioned with J.J. Buchanan, where he's just going off and he's doing a really good job. He looks like the type of guy that's kind of underrated, right? Where you look at his rating on a 24/7 Sports and his talent that you watch on the tape doesn't seem to match the rating. Guy I'm pretty excited about, just to give you guys we'll throw his highlights on the screen for a second here while we're talking about him. Just give me a second while I do that. Again, I do have another guest coming on here in a couple minutes, so I'll have to cut his highlights short. But I think you guys will be excited about the guest I have coming on soon. Let me go ahead and throw up Jason Stokes highlights on here. Oh, wait. All right. Share screen. Boom. Okay, Jason Stokes Jr. right here. Let's play it. Boom. Okay. All right, yeah. So Jason Stokes Jr., like I said, guys, he's a corner that can man up on people. On top of that, real ball hawking ability, a guy that can really play, really create turnovers, be a playmaking weapon, and looks fluid at the position. You can kind of see the highlights here. He overruns receivers like you've seen on a couple of the highlights. He does that quite a bit. It feels like with him, when the ball's in the air, he's going for it just as much as the receiver is. And that's great mentality for being a quarterback or a cornerback. When that ball's in the air, you better act like it's yours and you better go grab it. So super cool there. A guy I think looks pretty good. Again, we've really dumped some real talent in this cornerback room. I think our years of Jalen Johnson, Clark Phillips, Zemiah Vaughn have really paid off. I know Zemiah Vaughn's still at Utah, but Kwamari Shemwell looked super good. Smith Snowden looks super good. CJ Blocker looks like he has a ton of potential as well. I mean, this room for corners is legit, guys. This is not a normal room for corners. Just so we're all on the same page there. This is a pretty legit group that we're starting to build. Again, they need time to develop and become what they're going to be, but we are adding and adding and adding talent to this cornerback room. And, Jason Stokes, just one extra piece to that talent. So it should be pretty cool. J Spider Flash said, is that Matt Asiata's kid or cousin? I'll look that up while I have a second. All right. I know Matt Asiata shouted him out, so there could be some relation there. Let me see if I can get you guys some info on that. All right. Let's see. Haven't found it yet. I don't see anything on if he is or isn't. I'm pulling up an article here. Let's see. Oh, Brian says no relation. Thank you very much, Brian. Brian, always the man, always a gentleman, jumping on, helping me out there. Brian's one of the content contributors for the channel, always does a great job. Okay, and it looks like we should have our next guest coming on for an interview here in a second. Let me just tell him something. All right, cool. Well, we should have him on in a second, but I'll kind of brace you guys. It is going to be Cyrus Polu. He's coming on to tell us a little about his commitment. I'll bring him on here in a second. This time I'm going to get ahead of it. I'm going to try to get his highlights on the screen a little early. Guys, before I bring him on, though, if you guys appreciate him coming on and showing the channel and showing the fans some love, please smash that like button. Also, comment down below. What do you think of him? I know he's a guy a lot of people were excited about. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. And one just cool note, you think about it, guys, Christian Thatcher And then we got JJ Buchanan, and then we got Cyrus Polu. And Cyrus Polu's from St. George, but if you know anything about that geography, St. George is pretty dang close to Las Vegas. So we got 3 really big time kids from that area. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring him on here. Let me move this over and put his highlights on the screen. All right. Oh, am I watching the wrong thing here? Oh, man. I feel so old sometimes, especially when I'm interviewing a kid that went to high school, like, my high school 13 years later. All right. I'm going to put it up. Okay. Hold on 1 second. It'll be worth the wait. I promise. All right. Boom. All right. All right. Boom. All right. Here we go. All right. There we go. All right. Cyrus Polu, what is up, man? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Hey, man. Thank you so much for coming on. How's your day been going?
It's going good. Yeah, it's been good day.
Cool, man. You have practice tonight?
Yeah, we had team camp this week.
Cool.
Down at SEU, so.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know a lot of people are excited to talk to you. A lot of people are excited about the tape. I think your tape looks super good, and I'm not the only one that has said that. I know I didn't kind of prep you for this one, but why don't you just tell the people a little about yourself? When did you start playing football, and kind of lead us down that path?
All right, so my name is Cyrus Polo. I live in St. George, Utah. I go to Desert Hills. I've been playing football since I was a little kid, so like probably around five. Around 5,
Wow.
I started playing flag football. Started tackle football in 2nd grade. So I've been playing football for a minute, so like probably like 12 years. But yeah.
That's awesome, man. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and get into some of the questions. Let me pull them up here. Boom. All right. How is the weather out there in St. George? Is it really hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. All right. So tell us a little about the recruitment process, Cyrus. So who was the main person from Utah recruiting you? Who did you feel like you had the best connection with?
All right, but the recruitment process is definitely a little bit stressful, but overall it was really good for me. It was really good. A lot of love from a lot of different schools and a lot of different coaches, but yeah. And the person who recruited me the most was Coach Swan, the linebacker coach.
Okay. And anything specific, like did you have a good relationship with him that made it feel like you guys click on a lot of stuff, or what made him stand out to you?
To be honest, for me, he's just real with you. I went to his
Okay.
camp. I made mistakes like everyone does, and he's the only one that will ever like straight up tell me in front of everyone. Just tell me like mistakes I did and what I could work on, and that was just like, I think that was really cool for me. Just to kind of just shows you how his coaching style is, and he's just gonna be straight up with you. So that stood out to me a lot.
Well, and I could tell you as a guy just talking to you, I think that's a really good mentality for you to have, right? Where it's like, hey, I don't want a coach that's just going to tell me how good I am. I want a coach that's like, hey, go fix this stuff, right? Because,
Yeah.
a good coach doesn't just tell you how good you are. Okay, so let's talk about Utah. So obviously you're from St. George, which is technically Utah. When did Utah come on the radar for you and feel like a serious option for you in your football career, Cyrus?
Well, I was admired Utah's defense and just the way they played. So as soon as I got offered, I knew it was going to be like a high priority place for me. And so yeah, so going into my junior year, so my sophomore year summer, going to my junior year, that was when I got offered by them. So ever since I got offered, I've been I just really loved the program. So yeah, it's always been a top option for me.
That's awesome, man. You said you love their defense. Anything specific that stands out that you've really enjoyed about watching the defense?
Yeah, it's just the way they coach their defense and just the development part of their defense. They're taking a lot of like maybe like lesser rated guys and turning them to really big time like name linebackers, and I just think that's really good, especially for me trying to play linebacker.
Justin says, I have a feeling Cyrus will be him. So it looks like people are excited about you, big dog. So there we go. So tell us about the visit, Cyrus. Walk us through the day. Seriously, as much detail as you could give. I feel like this is always some cool insight, man. Like, don't forget, most of us never got to do this. So as much as you could reveal about what stood out to you, why it was like the time for you to commit when you went on that visit, or obviously right after, but when you went on the visit.
So when you when you go on visits, it's like there's definitely a lot on your schedule. So you have like a lot of meetings. But the first thing we did when we landed, we got lunch. And if you go on official visits, you'll definitely never be hungry. You eat a ton. So yeah, we got in, had lunch, had a bunch of meetings, team meetings with some of the players. So we had like some of the players come talk to us, players with our position coach, or meetings with our position coach and the defensive coordinator. And then we had a bunch of eating. And then we had our player hosts. So you
Okay.
get player hosts every night. So you go hang out with them and just see what it's like being around the boys. So we did that
Cool.
both nights. But for me, for the reasoning wanting to commit, it felt like home, and just the kids that were on the visit with me, so like JJ Wyatt,
Mm-hmm.
Mills, they're just like I really liked them, to be honest. They were just really cool, and just for that, I knew it was time for me at least.
That's awesome, man. That's good to hear. Yeah, and I like that you hear that you're clicking with your recruiting class because those are the guys that'll come up with you, right? And I
Yeah.
like JJ too. He seemed like a good guy. You seem like a good guy too. And so tell me about the moment. So maybe that was kind of what you were touching on there, but was there a moment that you decided like, hey, Utah is the school I'm going to commit to? Tell us kind of why it stood out compared to your other options. Like when did you decide to pick Utah and why?
I think it was the moment when I knew my parents were comfortable leaving me there. So just like watching them talk like to the coaches and just knowing that they know I'll be in good hands with like up here. And so once I knew they were like ready for me to leave me here, I was ready. So just knowing that they were comfortable leaving me here
That's
kind of
awesome, dude.
solidified it.
And anything you feel like the coaching staff did to make your parents feel more comfortable about that?
I mean, they're just really welcoming and they're just really nice. They're just really good people, to be honest. They're just really
That's
good people to
awesome,
be
man.
around.
They seem like it. They seem like it.
Yeah.
Um, are you so this is a good question from Justin. Did you so you're from Utah. It's closer to Vegas than Salt Lake, but what did you grow up a Utah fan? Did you have a college team growing up?
No, I didn't grow up a Utah fan. If I'm being honest, I grew up an Oregon fan when I was,
Okay. I
yeah,
mean, when you were a kid, Oregon was like hot, right? That would have been Marcus Mariota,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That makes sense. No harm, no foul. Now you're a Utah fan. There you go.
yeah. Most definitely.
So tell us a little about on the field, Cyrus. So has Utah given you any info on where they see you playing at the college level? Are they going to try you at multiple spots, or do they have a specific position they see you playing?
It's kind of just like that linebacker, kind of safety, maybe nickel, kind of. So just
Okay.
that general area. But
Like
I
a
think,
Sione Vaki almost freshman year, right? Where he's kind of
yeah,
like that hard hitting nickel.
yeah. So just like one of those kind of,
Cool.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. So tell us, is there anyone in the NFL or college that you model your game after that you strive to take things from? Anyone?
Um, honestly, no. I just try to do me, to be honest.
No, and you're not the first person to say that. I just like to see if there is anyone for you guys. I do like to know. Are you a sports gamer? Are you excited for EA Sports College Football?
I am, but I don't really play that much sports games, to be honest. But I'm
Yeah,
excited for that one to come out.
me too, man. Anyone on the Utah team you're especially excited to play?
I don't even know, to be honest. Just the whole team, I guess.
There you go, baby. All right, I love it. Cyrus, hey, thank you so much for coming on tonight, man. Go Utes, and I appreciate your time, dude.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, guys. So another fun talk, Cyrus Polu. Again, if you guys appreciate him coming on, like the video, comment down below. Gary says, great decision. Welcome to Ute Country, Cyrus. Very cool. Good to have you here, Cyrus. And with that, guys, it's a ton of fun tonight. We got some other recruits. Alili Asiata, I didn't dive too much into him, but he's a mauling, big, interior offensive lineman. Should be a big-time player for Utah once he gets developed into the program. Really big kid. And I'm excited, guys. It's fun to get these guys on. I'm going to keep trying to get you guys as many guests to make this a special, fun weekly show for you guys. And I really do feel like we're hitting something here, at least in my opinion, with bringing on the players and getting to know them a little. If you guys do appreciate it, comment it in the chat so I know that it's worth me putting the time in to try to get these guys on. So cool, guys. I'm out of here. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Go Utes. I'm out.